A popular saying says, "Who knows does who does not know teaches." In fact, over the centuries, the school has undergone a frightening degradation. With the reform of the rules, in the school we no longer talk about teaching, but about learning. Let's not forget how school was born. There was usually a shop with a master who worked. There were those who decided to learn something from this teacher and asked to enter the laboratory. In the workshop, however, it was necessarily to produce, so the disciple learned by working and the master could not waste time explaining what he had to do. But he taught by example, showing practically what he had to do, and therefore the disciple learned in this way. Then, over time, the disciples increased and it got to the point of paying a master to teach them the trade or the art. Then we got to the school, where the teacher explains in words and descends, learns and demonstrates that he learned more words. The result of all this is that nobody can boast of this culture, which has been in continuous degradation. We arrive today to the absurd that, say, an engineer designing a fixture unknowingly built, then, in my opinion, will never draw something or represent something that does not know how it's done. As a result, there was also a write-down of the title. Say today, "I am an engineer," it doesn't mean anything apart from the inflation that has occurred, but because people want to know, first of all, what a person can do. There is the terror of immigration, of foreigners who can take away the jobs from Italians, but unfortunately those are able to do, and Italians are less and less. We all know that the ministry website www.mio.it exists, on which there is a link to the training offer, let's say Italian. On this link we can find the search engine of any university. Attention, perhaps also out of respect for the university's autonomy, the ministry only puts a link to the various universities. Arrived, for example, at the Polytechnic of Bari and the degree course in building engineering, we should find the site of the cup of building engineering architecture. This site, in addition to containing general news concerning the course, of course, delegate to individual teachers organizing courses, and therefore we should find the link to the sites of individual teachers. Let's move on to the site of the Architectural Photogrammetry laboratory, where we find the curriculum of the teacher in charge of the laboratory. Because it is also right that if I pay to learn from someone, I must know who this someone is, what he did, how he thinks it, why he could also do not think like me, and then I find myself in agreement from day one. And above all, what he's done in his career. It is no longer enough to know that he has produced 5 publications, but what he has covered in these 5 publications, how you have treated them. I want to read them, and I must have them available, possibly in real time, online, to consult the publication that interests me. Remember that you study at the university. Studying does not mean learning notions and knowing how to repeat them. Studying means learning to solve problems. Learning how to dismantle a very complex problem in elementary problems until you can solve them individually, then reunite them and solve the main problem. The usual much-preached process of analysis and synthesis. And knowing what the teacher did, however meritorious, is not even enough anymore. I can be a very good designer, a great scientist, but I cannot know how to teach. But since my role is not to be a scientist, a researcher, or a designer, but as a teacher, I have to show what I produce, and production is the didactic activity in the first place. The university research activity is supportive of the teaching activity in the sense that with the research activity the teacher or the discipline is continuously updated. Then on the teacher side we produce, then that is the teaching. A teacher speaks through their learners, and then the individual student's website comes out, on which we see what they produced in the course. In conclusion, if I choose, on the website of the ministry, the Polytechnic of Bari,